Hi, I'm Patricia Quinn, Magenta from the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and check out Gruesome Herzog. Woo!
In today's episode, we're going to talk about a film called Dolly Dearest in 1991. A 1 hour and 33-minute comedy drama horror, released October 18th, 1991. Storyline: a toy manufacturer buys a Dolly Dearest factory in Mexico, where the malevolent spirit of the Sanzian, a devil child, has taken refuge in one of the porcelain dolls and eventually takes control of his daughter. Directed by Maria Leese. Written by Maria Leese, Rod Nave, and Peter Sutcliffe. Here's the cast. Denise Crosby as Marilyn Wade. Sam Bottoms as Elliot Wade. Rip Torn as Carl Resnick. Chris Demetral as Jimmy Wade. Candace Hudson as Jessica Wade. Lupe Entreveros as Camellia. Enrique Ronaldo as Estrella. And Alma Martinez as Alva, and the cast goes on. Now, before we get started here, excuse me, during the 1987 and 1991 era, I can name 4 walking doll movies that were fucking amazing. That would be Dolls in 87, Child's Play in 88, Puppet Master in 89, and Dolly Dearest in 91. What they all have in common is they use money to make the doll walk. What's frustrating to me is some of these newer movies today that they do not walk. And they have a high budget. It's very fucking annoying. That being said, as you heard, a father buys this Dolly Dearest doll factory in Mexico. Of course, he has a wife, Marilyn. He has a son, Jimmy, and a daughter, Jessica. When Dad and Jessica went into the so-called factory, which it looked like a rundown piece of crap, there was dolls that were on the shelf. And she wanted one of these dolls, and Daddy said you can have one. But in the meantime, there's a mine behind the factory. I guess not a mine. Inside, there is a tomb. It's the Sanzian tomb, where a devil child was buried. Now, the people that are digging it up did not believe anything about this devil child. So the one guy in the beginning opens it up, and the evil spirit comes out. He dies, and obviously it ended up in one of the dolls. Yikes. Now, this doll is slowly changing Jessica. The mother has suspicions a little bit later, but nobody, of course, wants to listen to him. In the meantime, this kid was a trip. Jimmy, typical 13, 14-year-old, was actually going into this tomb type thing, investigating to see what's back in there. And then somebody else, Rip Torn, came later. That would be Carl Resnick, to finish up what his friend started. So it's a pretty cool film. I mean, it's 1991, shot like 1990. It has that 80s feel still. But what's cool about this film, it wasn't just one doll that walked. It was all of them. It's a really cool film. If you haven't seen this, definitely check it out. Great job by Denise Crosby, Sam Bottoms, Rip Torn, of course. He's, the little girl, Candace Hudson, Chris Demetral as Jimmy. Lupe Oliveros was Camellia. She was a housekeeper. Of course, Mexicans are very religious. And, something the little girl said to her that shook her to the core. And she wanted to leave and go to her sister's. But the dolly got her before she could leave. There's a lot going on in this movie. You gotta definitely check it out. It's well worth a watch. If you are a doll fan like me, Child's Play, Puppet Master, Dolls, and Dolly Dearest. Those ones that come off the top of my head that are fantastic to see in dolls walk. But these dolls make their faces really change when they're evil. It's really cool. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. This is Gruesome Herzog. I give this film an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed this again. I watched it a long time ago and when it first came out, and I watched it the other day. That being said, this is Gruesome Herzog, and I'm out of here.